What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Hearts Podcast, a show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev, man, I can help it, Gavin Jones. Gavin, how are you? We got to think of a new name. Papi Chulo's taken, so it's got to be something different. But what do you think?
Mana can take it?
Man, I can't help it. I swing into that same intro for you, and I'm trying to break it. We got to think of a new name. As I said, Papi Chulo is my name, so if you're
Right.
Papi Flacco or something like that,
What does Flacco mean?
it's something. I don't think it's crazy offensive. It was on the tip of my brain.
I feel like I'm gonna be accused of whatever that word is, uh, and it's gonna be all your fault. I'm gonna be that's Fluffy.
Skinny. There we go. I had to look it up because I'm
Is
terrible
that
at
really what it
Spanish.
means?
Yeah. I
So
also got
Waka
puddle on
Flocka
here.
Flame is Waka Skinny Flame?
I guess so. How you been, man?
I've been good. Been good. Having an interesting week. Haven't I feel bad because I know you, and there are two things that I didn't see this weekend that I know you want to talk about. A,
Mm.
WandaVision.
Oh, yes.
That finale's out.
You haven't
Haven't
watched it?
seen it. I haven't seen it. I'm probably gonna watch it as soon as we're done tonight. But somehow the internet is not filled with memes about it. So either it's not meme worthy, or the internet's giving me like 4 days. So I'll give the internet it gave me 4 days. The other thing, I got the results, but I did not watch my boy, Israel. Apparently, I don't know if it was
Yeah.
by decision or he went down. I don't know what happened, but I'm heartbroken, for my boy Israel.
It
So,
was decision. Yeah, it was an interesting fight, and he was going up a class too, so he still has his belt in the class below that. So it was him kind of taking a chance, going up in weights, fighting a dude. I can never pronounce his name, but he's a Russian dude. He's legit, and so it was close. It could have gone either way at some points, but the dude pulled it through, and it was a dope fight to watch for sure.
I may have to check. I mean, I'm glad it was a dope fight. Like that's what you expect from Israel. Aside from that one fight against that one guy, that
That one
is
fight from that one guy.
that one guy that's just like 3,000% muscles, just like everything is bulging.
You
Uh,
might be thinking of my boyfriend, Black Superman.
yeah,
He's Cuban, and I'm blanking on his name, but he's dope. He went to uh, Bellator. UFC just dropped him. They've been dropping a bunch of people
really.
recently, but
Are you
yeah,
gonna tweet the stream?
yeah, I did, and I have a tweet ready to go, and here it is. Bam!
There we go.
You got me
Wait, no,
sidetracked. You got me sidetracked, Gavin.
I'm actually doing this now.
Yes, welcome to the internet, Gavin.
I know. How does one send a tweet?
You go on tweeters.com.
You tweeters.com. I mean, I'm on. No, I'm not on TweetDeck. What am I on? Oh, I am on TweetDeck.
Oh. Yeah, Yoel Romero is the guy you're thinking of. Yoel Romero. He's dope. But yeah, he just got
Yeah.
dropped. He's on the competing MMA league. But there's another fight on that same card on Saturday. It was the women's champ, um, the Lioness. I forget her. Damn, I'm just forgetting names lately. But Amanda Nunes. Bam, there we go. She basically demolished this other chick, Megan Markle. No, it's Megan
Megan
something.
Anderson.
Megan Anderson, there we go. Yeah, it was like 40, 50 seconds. It was very short. It was like Megan Anderson had no business in there. It was a dope fight, but it's just with Amanda Nunes, they keep throwing her, fighters and she just eats them up. She's just ahead of the game so much. She should basically retire. It's like there's no one else competitive against her, but it was still dope to see it.
I think we discussed like last time we were I was at your place. I think we discussed like let's throw her at the guy that beat McGregor. Like
It's a crazy thing to think of, to be mixing these genders when it comes to fighting, but she's on this other level where it's like she could handle these other, male fighters, and it wouldn't be a shit show. It'd be actually entertaining to watch because she's so dope. Maybe
yeah.
that's the eventually we get there. I don't know. That's full equality if you let them sign the papers and agree to it and just put it on display, but it's weird. I don't know how you do that, but it'd be
She's
cool.
also probably a completely different weight class. Yeah, she's featherweight. I don't know
That's true. You got
what's
to match the
Khabib.
weight classes and all that, but yeah, maybe it could be done.
Khabib. Oh, I had UFC in my thing. Khabib weight class.
Yeah, I think he's
I
heavier
assume
for
he's
sure.
lightweight, but he's probably not. Oh, he is lightweight,
Like
so she'd have to go
145.
up a weight class. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight on somebody.
Yeah, and you can't just like add weight. It messes with how you move, and it's a whole thing. But yeah, it was a dope night of fights. Yeah, so you missed WandaVision, you missed the fights. Did you play anything this week?
I've been playing, so Loop Hero came out, and
Yes.
I was very excited to find out that, your progress in the demo transfers over,
Ooh.
which I didn't have that much progress, but I it gave me Loop 2, so I was able to jump into Loop 2, and holy shit, got demolished. I'm not even close, to say like, I can pretty well handle Loop 1 almost consistently, but Loop 2 is just like, "Fuck you, you're done in 5 minutes, baby. You were lasting 50 minutes on the other loop? Nah." So
Now, this
it's
is the game you described to me a couple days ago, right? Or a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's sort of like a like an RPG card game, reverse sort of tower defense where you want to build yourself like the right amount of challenge that you can progress and level up and get all these items, and it's really fun. I've been really liking it. The music is absolutely insane. Like I want to
Nice.
like it's a good game to have something else on in the background, like a TV show or like a Twitch stream or something. But at the same time, you do kind of have to focus. And also, like I can't turn down this music. It is that good. I can't turn it down. Um,
Nice.
but it's a lot of fun. I didn't go back to what was it? I really want to get back to Breath Edge. That game has my interest. I did end up playing. Oh God, I ended up playing Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride.
I've been doing Thursday night digital board games, and we did Ticket to Ride this weekend, which is a board game. But there was a Steam version, so we ended up playing that. And I've never played it before. It's great. I can see why this is one of the most popular board games in the world.
Gotcha.
Um,
I know you love your board games.
I do. I ended up playing some board games this weekend as well. Played some something Golem Edition,
Golem, was it
and
Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
No, shoot, I forget what it's called. But then I played this game called Horrified.
Mm,
You should look up the box art for this. I
I will.
think this would be your jam. I know you kind of like the spooky stuff a little bit,
A
and
little
this is
bit.
classic Marvel movie monsters, and this is you and a group trying to defend this village from these classic Marvel movie monsters, and
So I
it's
have the box art pulled up. Yeah, it looks like Scream 5 or whatever, like same kind of box art. It's dope.
yeah, it's a fun one. It's co-op, so it's you, everyone at the table versus the monsters, and it's pretty tough. We lost, so it was
Ah,
yeah.
this seems pretty interesting. This actually is definitely up my alley. I would give this a shot. I'm not one for board games, but at the same time, it's like it's not like I'm not for board games.
Mhm.
It's just unless you plop it down in front of me, I'm not gonna play it. But when you do plop it down in front of me and we're drinking, it's like then I'm all on
Right.
board. But I just there's that hurdle where it's like I never really think about these things. But this looks cool.
Nice, nice. What have you been playing, bud?
You know, I texted you over the weekend. I was knee deep
Oh,
in some
right.
Captain Toad, some Toad treasure tracker, and man,
And
I
knee
really
deep
dig
is
this
about
game.
as far as you can go with that, shorty. It is,
You know what? I would argue otherwise. I was surprised how much there is in the game. Like there's
oh,
a
I
surprising
just think
amount
you're
of
just a small person.
yeah, there is, there's shorter levels, you're shorter people playing as little mushroom guys, but there's it seems like at the on the face of it, there doesn't seem like there's a lot there, but there's a lot of puzzle mechanics going on. The puzzles are pretty interesting. The worlds are like just super compact with stuff to collect. Like in every nook and cranny, you really have to turn the world around and upside down because there's so much hidden stuff and the puzzles are really fun. The game is just full of character too. It's so cute and it just I want to keep playing it. I love how the audio from the little mushroom guys. What you have Toad and you have Toadette, I want to say. So you get to swap between them and play different levels based on them, and yeah, it's just so cute and really addicting. There's a lot here to chew on, and I'm digging, it. Especially if you want to find all the stuff because you can complete the worlds and just find the main star, but you can also collect different coins. There's different like challenges within each level. And thanks for following Gavin on there. I'm surprised it took you 2 years to do that, but you did do that finally.
I mean, normally I can just pop right in and grab the chat. I didn't realize what is this sub alert that you this follow alert.
You're missing out on it. Yeah, it's from SNL skit. It's glorious.
I do love me Pete some Pete Davidson. These graphics though, they absolutely so I played a little bit of 3D World, which is where Captain Toad comes from. And I get why people were kind of gun shy on this game because the 3D World version looks super generic.
Mm.
Like it's sort of like a proof of concept, but not that exciting of a proof of concept. And this looks super puzzly, super fun. Really looks like it's got that proper Nintendo charm. And I just love these what do you call them? Like puzzle box, shadow box environments.
Yeah, like a
Uh
diorama almost or
yeah,
something.
that's the word, diorama. This
Didn't go to
is
college.
adorable. I mean, I don't know. I have a special place in my heart for like dioramas and like I always loved like diorama like ornaments as a kid. And this is like I'd always come up with these plot lines for those ornaments of like what's going on. And
Yeah.
this is exactly what little Gavin would have liked. So and I hear the puzzles are fun.
They're
Um
very fun, and it's just got so much character and charm. The art
mhm.
style, really fits it perfectly. But I'm playing on my Switch, and it's in handheld mode, and the graphics are surprisingly dope. I mean, it really holds up. Of course, it's on that smaller screen, but everything pops. It's so full of color, and there's no weird like pixelation or anything. It just looks really, really good on Switch. So I was surprised how much I dug this game.
It's always interesting what games do get the pixelation and what games don't.
Mm.
Like I know Breath of the Wild got it pretty bad. Whatever that weird platinum game I got it super bad. But I remember Mario Odyssey was pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I think if you
it's
can
just
limit the
thinking
world somewhat, and this one's super limited with just what they have to render at one point, but there's still a lot going on. But if you can kind of limit and really, just use the strengths of the Switch, it can be just on full display with the graphics. And I think this one was for sure.
look
There's a
at this
lot of,
shit.
yeah, there's a lot of like VR or not VR, but like first person uh,
Is this motion
levels.
control by the way right
You
now?
can. I turned it off, but you can do that, and I loved these points too. There, I wish there was more of this, but yeah, it's just really cool. I highly recommend picking it up. I got this maybe a month ago through this like Walmart.com glitch where it was $5, and it was easily worth $5,
Oh,
worth
you
more than
actually
that.
got it on that. I
Yeah,
forgot about
there
that.
was like a
Damn.
30-minute window where you could get it for $5, but yeah, no, it's easily worth the price of admission, and it's just a dope game. I haven't completed it all the way through, so I'm working on completing the entire game, but I like it a lot.
What I assume you found that on like there's a lot of Twitter accounts that are pulling out like these crazy ass deals.
Yep.
What Twitter account is that found that?
So there's a couple. There's a cheap ass gamer on Twitter is a great one to
Of course.
follow,
Yep.
and there's Wario 64 is another great one to follow. They're always retweeting, especially like these past couple months with like the Xbox Series X and the PS5, always dropping tweets when something is on Best Buy and Walmart, but also just little deals on various games. So yeah, I always keep those alerts on with those Twitch channels because yeah, they
I
come
didn't
in
know
clutch.
Wario 64 did that kind of thing because I see you like retweeting and talking about Wario 64 in terms of like rumors and stuff that have like mostly come true. I
Oh yeah.
think with what they report on.
Yeah, with Wario, he's one, or that channel is one where they will comment on rumors, but also when something is legitimately announced, they'll also comment there. So they easily will differentiate when something is kind of up in the air or when something is solid. So it's a account to trust for sure, and also just the game deals too. So it's just an overall great freaking channel. So you gotta, now that you know how to use the tweeters, follow them for sure.
I'm you know I don't. I am not following them. That does remind me something I so we've got the whole graphics card situations right now where they're
Mm,
impossible to get a hold of. And there's also I watched a video recently on like they've got these so they announced like the RTX 3080, 3090 and then they keep coming out with these lower tier cards even though nobody can get a hold of the higher tier cards. And I
hmm
didn't realize apparently there is a reason for that. I had no clue the way these I'm gonna do my best to describe this, but apparently the way it works with GPUs is like they'll be testing these chips as they come out, and if they can't reach a certain benchmark, they'll set them aside and sell
Okay.
them for the lower tier cards. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
actually what we're getting. It's not there's this big silicone shortage right now, so that's why yeah, they're having a hard time making the 3080s and 3090s and whatever the AMD equivalent is.
Yeah.
But that's why the lower tier cards are coming out. And you can get them if you get lucky.
Right.
Similar deal. But Newegg has been putting on a sort of like lottery, so you
I've
can
seen that.
enter in. I've been considering jumping in. I don't really want a 3070 necessarily. I'd love to hold out for a 3080. Um, but that I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm still happy with my card. My 2060 regular has been doing me wonders. I know you said you liked it when you have it. You have
Yep.
what do you have right now? A
A
2070?
2070 Super. And it
Yeah.
works great. Same boat where it's just the crackhead in me wants to try and keep getting that new the next card, but the 2070 Super works awesome.
I don't think it'd be as much of a problem if you get it at regular price, non-scalper price, a 3080 is a affordable card,
Yeah, I think that's
reasonable.
the one around 500-ish bucks, right? That's not insane
Yeah, that's why it
for
was
that power.
I think that's why it was such a big deal. Like
Yeah.
that's something huge and AMD fighting right back. So, uh I'd love to get I don't predict I'll get one of those cards until 2022. And that's honestly fine. I'm still super happy with my setup. I love my computer. It's a great computer. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Do you even think I should be going for a 3070 at that point? I don't know if it's for how much it costs. I think it's like 500 bucks. I don't know if that's a big enough leap because I am stuck with the card I have. I'm not going to be able to sell that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can discuss this otherwise, but
Yeah,
I
just
don't know.
quickly,
What's your off the hip thought?
I think it is worth it if you can also bump up the VRAM. So some of those cards still have like the
Mm.
same 8 gigabytes, VRAM, but a lot of those newer ones also have 10, 12 gigabytes. If you can get a newer card that has that bump up, then I would definitely jump in because you're also getting their modified, like RTX cards that are or chips that are more advanced can handle RTX easier, can get you better frame rates, blah blah blah. So yeah, if you can jump up, I would do that if it's also more VRAM than your current card for a fair amount of price.
So that was a weird critique I kind of heard of the 3070s. It's like, yeah, it's or maybe it was the 3060. I can't remember, but they were
Mm,
saying like, yeah, it's got all this VRAM, but it doesn't have enough processing power to do 4K, and that's what you need all that VRAM for.
interesting.
So you're literally wasting VRAM.
It's possible that's where my knowledge kind of dips off, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's we'll see. It's not like it's our one of our problems in the meantime because no one can get these freaking cards. But maybe 2022 they just
I don't even
released
have a
in the
4K TV right now.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, unless you have
I
also a monitor that can handle like the high frame rates, and so it's kind of what are you getting?
I do regret not buying that TV you told me about. That was a 8 inch or 8 foot diagonal.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like what 75, 80 feet, 80 inches, and it was like cheaper than my current TV. It was nuts. These TVs are just getting cheaper and cheaper. It's a great time to get a TV. There's no shortage on whatever the components are in TVs because they're just cheaper and cheaper.
I'd be curious. I'd be curious as to why that is. And
Mm,
yet monitors are crazy expensive. I think the thing with monitors is there's not as big a demand.
sure,
Um, but yeah, these TVs, man. I
they're just giving them away, man.
just giving away $600, giving them away. But still, that was a hell of a deal
Yeah,
for yeah.
it's like 75 inches. Yeah, instead of getting our payment from Biden, he's just gonna give us TVs, I guess, and we'll see how that goes. Alrighty, Gavin, we can jump into some of the news we got here for the week. This first one we're talking about, we're hopeful. I feel it, but we'll see if it's coming. So we got a report: new Nintendo Switch with 4K output OLED screen will release before Christmas. This is Luke Plunkett of Kotaku.com. Last year, Bloomberg reported that a new model of the Nintendo Switch would be out sometime in 2021. Today, they're reporting some more specific details like the size of the screen and some 4K news. The original report has now been clarified to say this new model will feature an OLED screen made by Samsung, which will be 7 inches across. Currently, the Switch models are 6.2 and 5.5 inches with the regular and light, respectively, and feature a 720p resolution screen. It will also, perhaps even more importantly, output 4K visuals when connected to a TV, which will make for one hell of a resolution change when switching between docked and handheld mode. Bloomberg's report says production on the new screens will commence in June, with the display slated for shipment to assemblers around July, meaning this new model could be ready in time for the holidays. Gavin, how do you feel about this? We've been following some Switch news for a while, but rumored years ago was the Switch Lite, and that came to fruition. How do you feel about this Switch Pro, whatever this would be?
I mean, we discussed this a little before the podcast. I think it's time. I think it's been time for a little while. I th- I think Bloomberg reporting this. Generally, I don't think Bloomberg tends to be too much on the rumor patrol.
They will
It's just a
if there's like evidence to it, if there's production stuff
rumor.
going on, but they will.
Currently the screen is 720, right?
I want to say it is, yes.
Yeah, so that's not a big stretch. Um, I feel very good about the OLED. To my understanding, OLED are brighter and use less energy, so that would just make this thing more efficient in handheld
Mm,
mode. That'd be great.
yeah,
Um, Reducing the margins on the Rocky.
being
Uh,
attacked.
yeah. uh, Reducing the black space along the edges, I think is great. So I feel pretty confident about that. The only thing is, will it do 4K? We've seen just 4K is so hard to do for a lot of reasons. I would be so happy if it can do 4K. I'm not confident. I think everything else is super realistic. Unless they do have some sort of version of like what's AMD and they have that thing where they can upscale something from a lower resolution. If they
You're right, but I forget the name of it. But yeah.
Yeah, if they can put that tech on the Switch, 1000% doable. 1000%, I think.
Yeah, I mean, consoles will do that. You know, they have arguably more horsepower behind the scenes, but they're doing that. They're upscaling images from 1080p to 4K and vice versa, sometimes from 2K to 4K. So it can be done, but I wonder if, because it's only done when it's in docked mode, if a lot of the hardware or some of it is in that newer dock that would be tied to this as well. I wonder if that's what's getting that, upscale tech going on, or the Switch can do that on its own. I don't know. But I'm totally fine with, the 720p screen, because it, like we just talked about, Treasure Tracker looks dope on that small screen. So I'm fine with that. We'll see how they handle the 4K stuff. But you're right. Make the battery more efficient and also remove those black borders, and I think we're onto something.
And I think if they can do that upscale, now maybe they leave this as an option, but to my understanding, if you upscale something, and then you downscale it back down,
Mm.
so do that in like handheld mode. To my understanding, like the aliasing just looks brilliant. Can really look almost like yeah, just fantastic. So I'd be curious to see that in handheld mode. They may not allow it. That'd be pretty battery inefficient. But that would be super dope. I don't
Yeah,
know.
now also, Ultima Zord brings up a point. Will Nintendo try and get more big games for the new Switch? So part of the rumors tied with this is they're waiting for to kind of coincide this new Switch Pro with that Zelda sequel, also with these other unreleased or unannounced Switch games, to have some kind of big juggernaut to also come out of the wings with, to have say Zelda 2, and then you got Switch Pro, and we're off to the races. Do you think they need to pair with a big game, or can they just release this thing on its own?
That's I mean, what do you need to be sold on this thing? You're a guy who has two 4K TVs. You've got, you've got your PS5, you've got
Mhm.
your PC that or you do 1080p on your PC just so you can get
Yeah,
the
mostly. Yeah, the higher frame rates and stuff. Yeah, I got
yeah.
it all, Gavin. You're right. I'm balling, rolling the dough. I might get two Switch Pros to hold up to my ear just so I get the best audio quality. Uh, no, for
No,
me, I
but
mean,
I mean, to you, like high resolution and in these good frame rates are more because like I can't even see past 30 frames per second. Like I have terrible vision apparently.
yeah.
Like we were playing Miles Morales and you're like you're on cocaine if you can't see these higher frame rates. I'm like I can't. Give me the reflections. I can't see them.
Yeah, I would say you're a special case, but I think a lot of people don't necessarily care. It's a kind of it's a cool feature that a lot of these next gen consoles or current gen are giving you, that 60 frame per second mode versus the 30. Of course, PC users have been used to that for a long time. But with the Switch, I don't know if that market really cares or needs games to be in 4K. A lot of them are kids, they're playing on their Switch in handheld mode and it's fine. So I don't know. Seems to be trying to call out to the market of gamers that want more power out of their Switch, but I'm totally fine, without it. If the price is right and there is enough unique features, then maybe I'll, trade in my Switch towards this. But it's not something I need at the end of the day. But maybe what they show is going to be super sleek and just, cool enough that's going to make me want it because it's a cool piece of tech.
So where do you I guess that's the thing. You say if the price is right. Now what did the original Switch cost? 300 bucks?
I want to
It's
say
pretty cheap.
299.
That's a very reasonable price
for sure.
for what this thing does. Where I don't know what it costs now.
I want to say it's still 299, and then they have the Switch Lite at 250 or 200. So you have that option. I don't think they would drop the price of the standard Switch if when they bring the Switch Pro, because it's Nintendo and they never really drop value or drop price in anything. So if anything, it'd be 399, 400 for that price. And it's you're starting to compete with the PS5 with the Xbox One or Series S. So it's got to bring something to the table. So it's going to be interesting. But I just don't know if we really need it at the end of the day. But I'm not mad at it.
I might make that jump. If I could sell my current
Switch.
Switch, I could probably make that jump, $400. It's I don't know, I guess it depends on if I get a 3080 this year. If I get a 3080, I'm playing my regular Switch. If I'm not, maybe I'll do a Switch.
If you get one of those 3080s, just duct tape your phone to the card and it's basically a Switch. There you go. Walk around town and it's the same
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I guess that's the other thing. If this thing can do 4K, I have to buy a 4K TV. Like I'm
Mm.
out of excuses. That would be a waste of a Switch that can do 4K. But can you imagine looking at like I think one of the prettiest Switch games out there is Mario Kart.
Oh, sure.
You were showing that earlier, and I'm like, man, that would look 4K. Oh,
4K, 4K. Yeah. I mean, it looked dope. It's interesting though that this is the one that makes you want to like get a 4K TV and kind of upgrade because we have these other consoles out now. Those don't really push you to upgrade. It's the lineup that's on the Switch that would make you kind of bring up your living room basically to the future.
I mean, yeah, my priorities are kind of weird, but I also skipped the last generation entirely.
Mm.
So that's probably where that's kind of what I think pushed you into the 4K when like the pros and stuff came out and those games look gorgeous. Like I still like Miles Morales still is like the prettiest game I've ever seen in my life. Now
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ghost of Tsushima in 4K. So
Ooh,
that
that's another
may
one.
change my mind. But I don't
Gotcha.
know. That being said, I've been meaning to borrow your PS4 for a while. So
You
if I
keep
get a
talking
4K
about it.
TV,
Maybe about a year now. We'll make it happen.
God of
Do you
War's going
think
around there.
to end this Switch Pro talk? Do you think trying to nail this holiday season going into 2022? Do you think that's fair? Can they push off on that? I mean, the Switch still sells like gangbusters every month. So,
Yeah.
where do you think they should drop this?
Oh boy, with this shortage right now of everything,
True.
I have no confidence in this year. As much as I would love it, I have no confidence in this year. But that being said, if it's not coming this year, do it up, do it right, bring it with Zelda 2, and I'm sold.
And I guess another fold to this, you'd have to imagine they're still going to support Switch Lite and Switch regular on these games going forward, right? It's going to be like that PS4 Pro kind of upgrade where, yeah, you can play it with the highest fidelity, but it's still going to work on that base model.
I pray. I mean, they didn't do that support as much as I would have liked with the 3DS and the new 3DS. Like, I was very
Mm,
sad when Majora's Mask would lag during certain sections, or the fact that Chronoblade Chronicles or whatever it's called, DS or 3DS would not playable on the regular 3DS. So I hope they give it that support, especially like the 3DS Lite is that's getting a lot of people's foot in the door.
yeah.
So might as well take them with.
Right. We'll see. It's going to get some, hopefully, we'll get some info soon if it's going to launch this holiday season. So we will follow that news story. Gavin, just another update on this huge deal that happened a couple months ago with Microsoft and Bethesda.
Oh
Regulators
yeah.
approve. Yep. So regulators approve Microsoft's 7.5 billion acquisition of Bethesda parent company ZeniMax Media. So this one here is from Kotaku Ethan Gatch. So we got Microsoft's 7.5 billion purchase of ZeniMax Media has cleared another set of hurdles, winning approval to proceed from both the European Commissions and U.S. Secretaries or Securities and Exchange Commissions. A note of effectiveness was posted to the regulatory agency's website on March 4th, meaning it has accepted the details of the acquisition as submitted by Microsoft, including the effect on share prices. The plans for the deal were first announced last September, with the acquisition expected to be completed sometime later this year. While that will bring Microsoft's total number of first-party game studios to a whopping 23, it remains to be seen how the company will leverage games from Bethesda, which have traditionally been multi-platform. So there's a lot to break down in there, Gavin. But there's this whole beginning of the week has been conversations online about when do we see Bethesda break off from their third-party stuff? Do they really align with Microsoft? How do you see them rolling this out now that the deal is pretty much official now?
No clue. Absolutely no clue. I know nothing about business. But,
Sure.
I can you imagine if this story did not go this way? Can you imagine if these 2 government and that's crazy. Can you imagine making a business deal so big, you have to get both governments involved
Right.
just to say, "Yeah, you can legally do this." That's insane. Um, but if this went south and the government said, "No, you cannot do this," the gaming community would lose its fucking mind right now.
Yeah, it'd be nuts. I mean, I don't know if how people would split on it because if this deal, it's now solid, it's going through, and that's what we're yet to see. Is it meaning that this is going to be an Xbox property now? All the Bethesda stuff, are they still going to play nice with other consoles? If we knew that in advance, I think people could know how to react if the deal fell through or went through. It's still up in the air what they're going to do as far as how they're going to support other consoles. So that's where I think the big question is, but we just don't know. I think we for sure Ghostwire Tokyo is going to be on PS5. You have Deathloop still on PS5. That was part of the before that deal. But after that, everything's in question. Do we see Fallout stay on the Xbox? Do we see Elder Scrolls only on Xbox? It's there's a lot of up in the air, and it's interesting. I think people are maybe they're not sure, where to go or to be afraid, or is this going to be an Xbox that is still how they've been going, where they're playing nice with everyone, or they're playing nice with everyone until they get that lock and then they hold on with a death grip.
It we just yeah, it's crazy. We don't know. But that being said, something for sort of the PlayStation crowd, uh, or mobile crowd really coming into this is kind of along those same lines. And I don't mean to kind of side rail this, but I think it's important to take it with this grain of bacon. I don't know what to call this because it's not a grain of salt, but the reports coming in this week that Microsoft is now upgrading their xCloud servers. So I didn't know this, but apparently xCloud tops out at 720p. So they are
Oh, and that they're
now
playing with 1080p, right? I did read that. Yeah.
yeah, they're now playing with 1080p, which is still behind Stadia, but Stadia has no gamers. It's you can't do anything without a player base.
Right.
And then the other thing, let me know if I'm peeking, I'm talking kinda loud.
Nope.
But the other thing is they're now upgrading their servers to handle Xbox One X games, so that you're
Mm,
now gonna be able to play current gen games on this, which honestly, can you ima that's sort of a mind blow right there. A lot of people can't play PlayStation 5 games right now, even if you theoretically, if you can't get an Xbox One X, you can still play the games
Game
while
Pass.
you're paying off your future console that's eventually gonna arrive to you.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Wow. Wow. That
Yeah,
being
they
said,
could.
yeah, there's still a shortage, so it's gonna take a while, but
And that could maybe, ooze the or ease the burn, ooze the burn, with people not being able to get these consoles. Yeah, it's an oozy burn. If they can't get the consoles, at least
I
they can get some icy hot on there. If they can't get one of these new consoles, at least on the Xbox side, if they can pay for Game Pass, get on their phone, their tablet, or computer, and still stream it to the same fidelity, that's a huge win for them. And you throw into the mix all the Bethesda games, possibly, part of that Game Pass thing day one. I mean, that's a huge get, and I feel like we're on the cusp of some kind of crazy announcement like that.
yeah, and they still really haven't fully shown their hand as far as exclusives. I know they do have more exclusives than I thought they did for 2021, but they're ready to start. Like, I don't mean to be an Xbox fanboy because 'cause I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I just wanna play games.
Same.
But I feel like Microsoft's about to start breaking kneecaps here. Um,
I'm ready. They've been, getting all this stuff in order, and now's the time to start dropping those bombs because PlayStation has been doing that for this entire, this entire decade, this whole generation. So it's time for them to do it, and I'm happy for it.
and that's the thing, like, are we making this plot line up in our mind? Like, we've watched too much WE and we're like, "Oh, the one character is just beating the shit out of the other guy. Now John Cena is about to wake the fuck up 75% of the way through the match and win it." Like, yeah.
Yep,
It's I
I'm
guess
ready.
it's a human thing to build up this narrative, um, but I don't. I hope they shake everybody up, and by ever I mean, it's basically just Sony at this point. Nintendo I feel like Nintendo is in their own race,
Yeah.
uh, but
Yeah, they're doing their own thing, and they're hugely successful, and that's kind of what they've been doing for a while, where it's they just figure out their niche and they go for it, and they bring
yeah,
everyone to their party, and they don't have to compete with the quote unquote big boys over here. But yeah, these big boys are finally competing, and I think I can see a lot of people's frustration, at least on the gamer side, with locking these games, these properties to the different consoles. I get that, and that sucks. At the same time, when they do compete with each other, then it's I feel like in theory we win because they are competing. They're making more enticing, a deal, say with like Game Pass and other things like that. So when they have to compete, we benefit from that. That's the hopeful idea, though. We'll see if
right.
that actually happens.
I think you're 1000% correct. I think the one thing that I'm so glad though this generation, because Sony was very pissy about it the last generation, and Microsoft about it beforehand was like cross gen or cross play.
Sure.
Because 2 generations ago, Microsoft could have made it happen. They were the leader, so they said no. Last generation, Sony could have made it happen. They were the leader, so they said no until the end, right?
Right.
They got Fortnite in there. They got what's the soccer car game?
Oh, Rocket League.
Yeah, they got Rocket League in there. Fire hose started to open up a little bit. The fact that we now have if crossplay does become the standard and solid state hard drives, specifically these ultra fast ones, I think these consoles are running M.2s, become the standard, gaming is about to reach like a level that it's dreamt of forever.
Yeah.
So I've never been excited. I was not excited for last generation. There's a reason I didn't buy last generation. I'm fucking hyped now. I am ready. We're good to
I don't
go. We
understand, but okay.
we have so many games that like we can hop on and play together. I can do it with anybody. Like the X Cloud, so you can somebody who's paying $14 a month can jump in with their goddamn cell phone and
Yeah.
play what the fuck ever. They don't even have to download it. Like this is this is gaming right here. This is
That is true. I mean, on one hand, it is the most accessible time to play games. They're
Mhm.
the cheapest they've ever been, and the most accessible with whatever console you have. You can still play with other people. So yeah, on one hand, it is a great time to play. Although you mentioned everyone having these super fast SSDs and bringing us to the future with speed, then you have Call of Duty says hold my 500 gigabytes and destroys whatever capacity you have. So it's like you still have these entities that just don't. They're just dragging their feet.
I was talking about that today with my coworker because we're upgrading everyone from regular hard drives to half a gig solid states because they're only about $30 now.
Mm,
And I'm like, I could buy a Call of Duty hard drive for $30. Like, I don't mean to like sound like $30 is nothing, but like I could afford a Call of Duty hard drive. That's
just a dedicated, yeah. You might have to.
you kind of have to, but that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Has a
Well,
major boner, 2 major boners. Weird situation, we don't like to talk about it, but,
you have a
no,
medical
I
condition.
do. This has been the most excited I've been for a generation and, probably since the Xbox 360, because that was, I think, one of the biggest leaps in gaming, um,
Sure.
just in
I mean, you
terms of,
missed out on some gems last generation, but now you can get them with their, upgraded versions. They're gonna bring all those back to light in these current consoles. So you're gonna play some awesome stuff. But there are some great games last generation for sure.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, Gavin. So speaking of exclusives with Xbox, we got some news on Halo. This next one here is Pringles releases a flavor that tastes like an extinct animal from Halo Reach. So this is Adam Bankhurst of IGN. Pringles' latest flavor is based on the Moa burger from the planet Reach. If you aren't familiar with that particular planet or flavor, it may be because it is based on a flightless bird slash delicacy from 2010's Halo Reach. Halo's Twitter account announced a surprising collaboration with Pringles, revealing that Moa burger is a limited edition flavor that is now being sold exclusively at Walmart. Not only do Moa appear in Halo Reach, there's also an in-game advertisement for the Moa burger that those on Reach were able to enjoy. Furthermore, players will kill 7 Moa in Halo Reach's winter contingency mission can earn the Keep It Clean achievement. Gavin, are you going to be running to the store to get this exclusive Moa burger flavored Pringles?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, they I
are you
love
familiar
the
with this
fact that
bird?
they've made up something completely batshit insane. and I have to support like as far as like dumb video game tie-ins go, this is funny. This is honest to God funny.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's weird. I wonder what this tastes like because it's based on this fictional bird.
An
Um,
ostrich?
yeah, it's like a weird ostrich alien thing from the Reach game, and we're looking at some footage from machinima.com showing this Master Chief running around chasing one of these birds, trying to get a Moa burger.
You know, I was dating a gal who signed up for a mystery meat box,
Oh boy.
which almost is as creepy as it sounds. But they'd send like weird meat, like there was some sort of anaconda meat, there was alligator meat, and there was uh no, it wasn't ostrich. Shit, it was emu meat. Delicious. I think that was one of the best, but it's not that far off from chicken. It's really not. It's like
Yeah.
like almost like chicken and steak had a baby, and that's a pretty good crossover. It's a pretty good crossover.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, our state fair had emu or ostrich burgers,
Mhm.
which one of those isn't extinct. It had or
They're
endangered.
both alive.
Okay, well, endangered rather. It had one of those burgers that you could buy there, but I never tried it. But it just looked like just a standard meat burger thing. But yeah, this is based on this fictional ostrich animal from Halo Reach, and I imagine this is supposed to coincide with promotion for Halo Infinite, but maybe it's now a bit early that now that Halo Infinite's been
Wait,
pushed.
did you say reach?
Yeah, Halo Reach.
Was that really what it was?
Yeah, so it's based on that animal from Halo Reach. Yeah,
Oh,
which is one of
jeez.
the.
You've been saying this like the whole story, and I've just been ignoring reach and hearing infinite.
Yeah, that's what you do anytime I talk. I think, Gavin.
God damn it, Fonzie.
But I'm used to it. I'm cool with it. But yeah, we'll have to pick one of these up next week and try it on the stream, maybe with some hot sauce or something.
I bet it's. I mean, to be fair, I'm a giant Pringles fan. I
Yeah,
know that's a
Pringles can't do wrong.
yeah. Once you pop, you can't stop.
I heard that. I heard that, Gavin. Let's move on to our next one here. We got I thought of you, so I brought this up on the show today. So Artifact, Valve stops developing on struggling card game is from Joseph Noop of IGN. Valve has officially stopped development on Artifact, its struggling collectible card game based on the Dota universe. Valve made the announcement Thursday, citing poor player count following the game's launch in 2018 and subsequent reboot, Artifact 2.0 beta. Gavin, are you upset? How do you feel about this news? Is this one you ever tried or meant to jump into?
No, I like the fact that when I initially looked at it, it looked like you were playing 3 different games at once, but it just
Mm.
turns out you're playing the same game on 3 different lanes at once, which allows things to be differently. So, if it had been the first thing where, like, literally, like, yeah, I'm just going, I'm bouncing between games and I'm having fun, like, that seems super cool. But that being said, I hear this is just like this is 5D chess. It is
Uh,
insanely complicated. The amount of people that could really play it very well was pretty limited. I did feel kind of bad for the original designer. I guess it's one of the creators of Magic the Gathering. He's made a lot of very successful card games over the year. It sounds like he's had a couple of, flukes, and this was one of them. So that kind of sucks. Like, even after he was let go from the project, he's like, I'd still love to work on it, which is like, all right, like, stop being so thirsty. But I do get that. Like, they put a ton of money into it. I'm sure he put a ton of work into it. He just wanted to see it through. Um, I don't know. I appreciate that Valve made a new fucking game.
right. Well, now with Dota, that's the one that they're hugely successful with, right? So there's
Yeah.
no plans on slowing that train down. It's just this. Was this an offshoot? It looks like, or kind of an experimentation with that same universe, trying to replicate the success of it.
Yeah, and that kind of sucks too because like League of Legends is kind of keeps taking the MOBA thunder. So they had yeah, Dota is super popular, but League of Legends is even more popular. Yeah, uh Dota Auto Chess was super popular, but League of Legends Team Fortress Tactics was more popular. And then you had the card game where this came out. Sounds like it was pretty rough. And then you have the League of Card Legends card game, which is bad as it is doing better than this. And it's also way less like give me money now, more money now, please.
Money, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It looks very. I'm looking at footage of it. It looks so complicated, and I'm just also not a fan of these card-based games. But it seems like this is definitely next level for sure. This isn't for me, someone who's just new to the whole genre. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
bummer they couldn't crack it.
Yeah, it's complicated. It's also I think it was like $60 to start, and then you had
Mm,
to buy packs beyond that. Whereas League of Legends is like it's free to start, and you don't need to put money into it.
gotcha. Yeah. So
Good luck competing against that.
right,
Also, the League of Legends card game is a little too complicated for me. I'm very confused.
it
I
all
was
looks
watching some
complicated.
this weekend. I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. Oh, I've got to draw this card to do this thing.
Yeah.
At least Hearthstone, I have some dumb idea of what's going on, even though I never play it.
Mm,
Clarity is helpful if you want to get people on your game.
okay. Yep. That's my big hurdles. I have no idea what's going on. So move on to our next one here, Gavin. It's I do know what's going on here. It's pretty obvious. It's we got Doom 3 PSVR has been announced for PSVR. This is from IGN. So Doom 3 is being ported to PSVR with Doom 3 VR Edition launching for PS4 and backwards compatible on PS5 on March 29th. It's very soon. The game was revealed on the PlayStation blog as part of a full day of new game announcements for PSVR. So Doom 3 VR Edition will feature Doom 3 and its expansion packs, Resurrection of Evil and the Lost Mission, and it appears to function similarly to Skyrim VR in that it's a virtual reality port of the full game. The game will launch on PS4 March 29th, blah, blah, blah. The release mentions how the game will feature new textures, shaders, and sound effects across over 15 hours of heart stopping action. So the teaser I have posted up here, it's very short, but it's just showing some of the gameplay itself. And I mean, I'm on board. I don't own a PSVR, but
Do you have
this
that
looks
teaser
really
going
dope.
right now? I haven't.
I do, yeah.
You do. Okay.
It's very short. It's like 30 seconds just showing you. This game, I think it still holds up. I love Doom 3. It was definitely more
Oh,
moody
and
and
your wrist
scary.
health thing. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I it is kind of rough. But that being said, this was at like as rough as this was like the best looking game that generation,
for sure.
probably.
It's up
Uh
there.
I do kind of want to check out the HD remake though of Doom.
It's on
What would it
Switch.
take to get you through it's on Switch. Oh
Mhm.
jeez. What would it take to get you to play through Doom 3?
I mean, I'd definitely play it in VR. I wish this was on Oculus or something like that. I just don't have a PSVR. Have no plans to get one anytime soon. But
Right.
that would be the big hurdle. I would love to play this in VR. I do have. I've attempted to play Doom 3 over the years because like I bought it on all these different consoles and just recently on Switch as well. But it's I have really fond memories with this game. I loved how spooky it is, scary it is. It's not just going for the say the Doom remaster remake we have from the past couple years where it's just nonstop action. It's way more just it's really trying to scare you and keep you on your toes, but still with awesome gunplay. I just loved what they were doing with that. But so this one you don't have to really twist my arm to play it. I love Doom 3.
I kind of thought, didn't this come to PC already?
It might be well the VR version of this.
Yeah.
It's very possible, and if so, then I'm gonna download this tonight and play it on my Oculus.
Yeah, because I know you're very into VR, and this seems like I'd be very curious to see whether this is more or less scary in VR.
Oh, I would say more, right? Because it's
Think
right up
more?
in your grill.
Oof, that would be the BFG edition, VFR. What the fuck is
So
VFR?
that was the recent, maybe about 2 years ago. I know it premiered with PSVR, but I imagine it came to other VR outlets as well. But it was the newer Doom remastered somewhat in VR, where you couldn't really like move fully. You were just kind of teleporting, but it was like a custom built VR
Oh,
experience with the new Doom engine.
that's probably what I'm. Oh, this looks so janky. Sadly, that ridiculousness is probably what I was thinking of. Uh,
Gotcha.
I could swear they did like Eternal in VR, but yeah, it must be crazy.
I
Okay.
don't think so, not at this point, but I'm sure people have messed with modding it because they do that for every game. But
There was a game I saw recently that somebody modded into VR, which was absolutely insane. Like it was some traditionally third person game. I wish I could remember what it was. It
hmm,
was, as far as mod goes, it was probably one of the more ambitious mods I've ever seen. Oh, it was oh jeez. See if I can find it before by the end of the next story. But we should probably dive into that.
Okay, I'll start that off while you're going over the internet. Gavin, we got Sony patented a way of turning bananas, mugs, and more into PlayStation controllers. This is Jordan Alleman of IGN. Sony has patented technology that would allow players to turn household objects and even fruit into PlayStation controllers. Players would use a camera to scan objects for the system to detect, which could then be used for specific in game functions. As reported by GameIndustry.biz, a recent Sony patent was filed for the innovation. Other implementations include using motion to steer by using two oranges, like a steering wheel, changing viewpoint with a household peripheral via general axis, and even inputting a pause command by putting a cup into a saucer while both objects are being detected by the technology. Gavin, how do you feel about using everyday objects as VR slash just general controllers?
I'm 100% sure this is already patented.
Okay.
Because I remember I was looking into there's a really cool game jam called Control Alt where you make controllers out of wild, crazy things.
Mm.
And when I was looking into that game jam, there was this site that pulled up like you can attach these electrodes, and it's a way of like controlling uh different stuff. And it allows a really easy way to make controllers out of untraditional stuff. And I think one of the examples of like there was a table full of fruit. You controlled the game by like picking up different fruit, but really you just had to touch them.
Oh,
uh,
gotcha.
but it sort of connects the circuit. So, um,
Well, this might be different because they're using the camera to just scan the thing and then the computer remembers the point. So it doesn't have to, you're not hooking up power cords into your wall socket and then plug it into your PS5. But
gotcha. That's a little different than what I was kind of thinking, huh?
now, how long until people use, ideally, they use the banana as the little example here. How long do people use their body parts to, play whatever Minesweeper or Fortnite on their PS5?
I can't believe my brain didn't go there instantly. I'm gonna go with for a lot of people, that's gonna be the first thing they try.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Hey, more power to you. You do what you want to do.
Yeah, that is it's kind of neat. I'd be curious to see, like, looking at this, like, the first thing that pops into my mind is something I saw recently, which is I'll see if I can't find the link to this. It was Google Grid, Google
Mm,
what was good? It was basically like like a half step generation of Google Mesh, I think it was what it was called.
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's
It wasn't their
no,
VR thing, right?
it was an AR thing. See if I can find it.
It wasn't HoloLens.
It was like HoloLens, but like their newest.
I might have watched a trailer for something like this that was showing like,
Oh, sorry, it was Microsoft Mesh.
oh,
Uh,
okay,
so this you can probably skip around that trailer a little bit. I posted it in the Discord.
gotcha.
I don't know what it is. Like the covering certainly looks uh more. I'm not sure what it's bringing to the table. Is it a little bit more like it's scanning your environment as you're looking at it, so other people can see like a 3D version of what you're seeing? That seems very hardware intensive. It looks physically on the user, it looks just as ugly as um, the HoloLens 1.0. So, what is sort of the difference? The other thing that's minorly dumb, but I do hate it when these trailers like they make the holograms look like holograms and like um,
Iron Man
maybe Iron Man, but certainly
or
oh,
Minority Report.
maybe that is what they're doing. Oh, is that what they're doing? No,
What are they doing?
what's the game? Or the movie, Star Wars. Like the old shitty,
Uh,
like shit's like phasing in and out and blurry and blue. It's like if holograms looked like that, we wouldn't fucking do it.
well, yeah, but this is the
Back to the future.
early points of this, but that might be just like the limitations of trying to render this stuff and make it. It just has to look like that. I wonder, but
Yeah. You can
compared
kind
to
of
like
see
a,
like where it does that thing where the pixels are going along the sides of people. That's kind of how it looked in the original Connect, though.
you're right. I wonder if that's because the same stuff, the same scanner device is on that headset, so that's really what it looks like when it's showing you.
And you might even notice there's two pairs of two cameras on each side of that unit. in addition to see, that kinda interests me too. Some of the people walking around in these environments were avatars, and I wonder if that would be a thing, like, I don't know, can I just be showing up as an avatar? I
to
imagine
work.
yeah, that might look a little bit more just smooth as opposed to this weird disappearing into the background kind of thing. Huh, I wonder if that is,
These trailers are cool, but I think we're still a long time, long, we're just so far away from these things being in our house because they got to be so expensive. They got to mass produce these things. Is this something that's going to go by the wayside like Google Lens? It's a cool idea, and I wish that that was our future, but I just have no
yeah.
expectations that we're really going to get there. But that'd be dope.
But let's pair that with the Sony patent, and let's be playing our banana. Let's put the buttons on the banana.
Exactly.
Banana,
Banana.
banana, penis.
Gavin, we
Normal.
got the the next
Sorry,
one here is disintegration. So we got some news on the studio being shut down. This was
sorry.
from
I
today.
don't mean to laugh.
You're doing you, Gavin. That's why I love you. So we got V1 Interactive, founded by Halo co-creator, closes down. Roshan Warner of CGM Online has the article. After opening 5 years ago, V1 Interactive announces today that the studio will be closing down. The studio's closure was made public on today via the company's Twitter account. V1 Interactive was founded by Marcus Letho, the co-creator of Halo and game director of Disintegration. Disintegration, released just last year, would be the sole title the company delivered. Gavin, we talked lightly about disintegration. Did you have an interest in jumping into this? I know it had an issue getting enough, players during its time, but this whole studio is closed down basically after this
Yeah.
release.
Didn't their multiplayer servers like shut down like a month or two after launch?
They did so 6 months after launch. Yeah,
Oh, that's longer than I thought. Yeah, it sucks, and I don't mean to poop on it because like this is a creative person, and they really went for this is like nothing else out there. So they really tried to make something that doesn't exist. They went on a creative ledge, and they fell off that ledge. So that sucks. I appreciate them trying to do something. Um, but I mean, it didn't have the players, it
right.
didn't make the sales. That sucks. It does suck. But I also forgot this game existed. Like when this article pulled up, I had to dig in my head brain to really pull this one up.
Yeah, that's part of the issue is that they just it's hard to maybe it's hard to market or there wasn't the power behind it to get this thing in everyone's faces because it's a really cool idea. It's very much like a Titanfall 2, a Mecha Soul kind of thing.
Mhm.
People love, these mech based games and it's mixing that same flavor or the essence of what made Halo fun, maybe with it seems like they're trying to match, movement and stuff and keeping this chaotic and fun, but it just didn't connect with people. This one looked cool to me, but it just didn't hold on to me. So I wonder if that was the same case for a lot of people.
Yeah. And I mean, it's nice to see, like, I don't think enough people are willing to try and fuse their game genre with maybe like a RTS or sort of Pikmin style where you have these units on the ground while you're doing your own thing. So it'd be cool to see someone pull that off. Um, yeah, so I did laugh at the start. I'm not like happy they're gone. I'm very glad they took a risk. But I really genuinely forgot this existed. Um, like if you had told me this was something I made up uh in a drunken dream, I would believe you.
I see. I thought they were laughing about the dick banana, not the studio closing. So
Oh, the dick banana.
I didn't realize that you were laughing at this. But
Dick banana. Dick banana.
alrighty, Gavin, we got the last one here we can end on is someone made a water cooled PS5. So this is pretty nuts. I have the YouTube channel pulled up here. It's from Modding Cafe on YouTube. And you can scrub through the video along with me, but it's showing the entire process of turning this PS5 into a water cooled PS5, which I didn't think was possible, but it
Look at
is.
that beaut. My god. That's
So they start off tearing it apart and then getting
watch
into.
yours. I'm not gonna scrub the same way you are.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just started off with them taking it apart, and then they actually have the whole water cooled custom, bits and pieces, and they build the entire thing in front of you. And I want to say I read that they're trying to get this to market as well. So I don't know who's crazy enough to try this, but I'm sure there are people who would jump into this. I would not because this looks very complicated.
Didn't people get sued just for, like, putting out side panels? Like, how is this
They
gonna
did.
survive?
They did, but I wonder if that's because they're selling a component that Sony has patented as far as like what an actual piece of the PS5, but this is adding stuff to it. But I don't know. You're right that this could be a weird situation, but they also you'll see at the end of the video there's no remnants of like the outside PS5 shell anymore. They kind of custom created an outside shell because they've added so much stuff on the inside. So it's basically turning this into a completely different thing at this point.
This does show that I know absolutely nothing about water cooling because this is all I
Yeah,
have
it's
no clue what's
it's
going
alien
on.
technology for sure. Yeah, I've watched plenty of videos, but it's still mind blowing. It's already complicated when you're watching regular videos on PC building when it comes to water cooling, but it's still you can wrap your head around it. But this is like the next level of that. It seems like.
Right. And I mean, a lot of people building these that heat sink is insane. I believe that's the stock heat sink. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, no, and when I do watch videos of people doing water cooling, they kind of hate doing it. They say it's like a pain in the butt. There's a lot of areas of failure. There's a lot of maintenance to it that you got to keep up on. Ooh, what a thing they're doing. But good on them. That is
yeah,
that's
it's nuts.
positively awesome.
It's one of those things as well where I don't know if the overheating or the heating component was an issue with the PS5, but maybe this just makes it that much more efficient. I would love to see them run some benchmarks and if you get any more performance, out of the PS5. But I just don't know if this thing is needed, on the PS5.
Probably not. I mean, that's the thing. Like, games are going to push it to the maximum level that whatever, the nicest PlayStation is going to go. So they're never really going to be, to my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they're going to be overclocking this. So
Sure.
we'll see. It is cool, though. Like, if this is your thing, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, no, it's dope. And I just saw this and thought, man, this is insane. I love
Yeah.
that there's people out there trying this and messing with it. But yeah, at the very end, they show it just looks nothing like the original PS5. It's this
Yeah.
somehow uglier version of the PS5, and it's still like it's nuts what they're able to achieve. I just didn't like the weird like extra fins that they added to it, but it's still
Mhm.
crazy.
I kind of like it. I kind of like the where they put the symbols, the
Oh, sure.
controller symbols in there. I think that looks really nice. Um, yeah, it's interesting how it's shorter, but they still expand out in some points. I think it looks cool, but yeah, I could see this is not everyone's slice of potato. I'm not sure if that's actually like a controller charger up in front or what necessarily that is.
It might be a charger or just a 3D printed stand for it, which I know you can buy stuff like that on eBay. But yeah, it's futuristic for sure.
Yeah, do we have a little bit of time for this video I put in chat? Because this is what I was trying to refer to either as this mod that I have no idea how this exists.
Yes, yes, I am going to the chat thingamagoo and pulling it up right now. Okay, I see it, and I'm starting it at the point that it is telling me to start it. Okay, so
Yeah, I couldn't get the time off of it, so we're stuck with that URL.
that's totally fine. So it looks like a Dark Souls 3 Gun Souls mod in first person.
Yeah,
It's insane.
it's looking a little glitchy at this particular moment. You might need to scrub forward, but
Yeah,
yeah,
are his
that's
hands like locked together somehow? So I'm gonna scrub back a little bit. Um,
sure what we're looking at.
so this is pretty dope though. So they're basically achieving a first person VR version. I don't know about
Yeah,
VR, but a first person version of Dark Souls, right?
I think it is VR. I think that's the way why the hands kind of
You're
move
right.
the way they
Yep.
do. That roll looks ridiculous in VR. I'd be curious to see if you could actually do a VR game. But yeah, I think they have a what kind of gun is that? An AR-15? Uh,
Possibly, yeah. So does this
so
make the game easier or harder with the ability to just shoot at enemies? Or is
from
the
what I've seen, infinitely easier.
okay.
I don't even know if this thing has limited ammo. But and it
This
shoots arrows too to make it funnier.
oh, I'm seeing this now, yeah. This might be
Oh,
the only way I could actually complete a Dark Souls game is if they give me a gun.
I don't think this is VR. The camera is moving a little bit too smooth.
Interesting, but you're right with the hands being separate from the body. It seems like that's what's going on, but maybe
Yeah.
not.
I'm not sure how much it looks like they did like a 180 with the camera facing the same direction. So maybe the
Oh,
left stick is locked to the player, but the right stick is still the camera, except for when you're doing the aiming. Um,
so
this
weird.
yeah, absolutely. But you can see, like, you could just destroy everything with this.
Right.
Um, oh god, I remember watching streamers stuck on this section for hours.
Yeah, I want to play it this way. This is the way I want to play these games. Give me a gun because I suck
This
at
is
these
the way
games.
Miyazaki intended it to be experienced.
Right. You're on a gun and a skateboard, and he's just rolling in his grave. He's not dead, but he's just rolling in his bed.
I'm excited for that new Miyazaki game, though. A lot of people like they don't know what an open world Dark Souls game is. I thought they were a little bit more open than apparently they are. So I really don't know what's. Is this going to be finally the Miyazaki game that I jump on?
You're talking about Elden Ring?
Talking about that Elden Ring.
Mm. Yeah,
So
I learned my lesson with Demon Souls Remaster that these games are not for me. So I'm gonna stop trying to make them for me. And so if this one is cool, it's more approachable. I don't know. I'm not gonna jump in because I understand that this is just not my cup of tea. But they just look so cool. Yeah, maybe this open world, version of this style of gameplay mixed with this new world could be interesting, but it's just not for me. I wish it was.
did you play Bloodborne at all?
I did, and I did not like it. So
Really?
yeah,
But you liked whatever we were playing the other week.
sure. Remnant from the Ashes.
Yeah, which is like Dark Souls with guns.
I guess so. Maybe it's the gun thing, but I don't know. It just didn't strike me the same way as how I got frustrated with Bloodborne. But that's a game that's so beautiful, so gory and weird that I want to jump into, but I just suck so bad. If they gave me a baby mode, then who's that going to hurt? I would be able to play the game and I'd have fun. I'm not hurting anybody. Like, what's the big deal? Just give me a baby mode and let me play that game.
There's definitely been an argument for a baby mode in these kinds of games, or uh, an assist mode. So I'd be curious to see. Maybe they do it with the next one. If it's a, I said do. Uh,
You also
yeah.
said Dig Banana, so
Well, but one of
context.
these things is silly. One of these things is something Sony's gonna do.
Yeah.
Be my new favorite joystick. Uh,
What about new? But
oh,
hey, alrighty, Gavin. Yeah, we can end it there for the
stuff
week.
getting kind of low these days.
Alrighty, man. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Tinder at no. You can find me on Twitter at Drunk Devs.
Awesome. And you can find me on Twitter at Plastic Heart Pod. That is it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.